Hello and welcome back to the Dads, live and in person from our gaming retreat weekend for yet another episode of the Dads. I'll just do a quick introduction. To my left is Nathan. Who are you and who are you playing?
Hi, I'm Nathan. I'm playing Humphrey Humblebottom, which is a wizard and now just a general magic user.
Yes.
I'm Andy, and I play Riff, the bard. Used to be half-elf, now it's got round ears.
That's right. And across the table, we have Dave.
I am Tuco Musashi, playing sword wielder.
Mm-hmm. And Erik.
I am Durant Molarkin, playing cleric of less than effective nature.
That's right. Yes.
I'm helping.
Still learning his path in this new world that you found yourselves in. So, last episode, you guys had talked to Captain Edwards about going to further explore the giant barrows that Tuco had found the night before by backtracking the giant skeletons trail. And it is morning. It's late morning, about 10 a.m. Just before leaving, Gren, the Nizak, had approached you and identified somehow that he recognized the bone jewelry that you were carrying, the giant-sized bone jewelry, and shared some insights with you regarding perhaps its origins, or perhaps the possibility that these skeletal giants may have one time have been a race of giant kind known as the Rogaru. He further explained a little bit of the history, perhaps more for you guys, that comes from Arakazine, and you guys learned a little bit more. But in conclusion, in inviting him to go with you to these barrows where there may be yet more of these undead giant skeletons, Gren walked off to grab a bigger stick. So a few moments later, he returns with basically a large tree branch, which will function as a quarterstaff. So you guys immediately start following the path back. Tuco, having already scouted it out, kind of leads you, and it's a lot easier to actually follow those tracks, given the fact that it did not rain and you're able to see because it's daylight. So you guys walk for a few hours, covering a lot of miles until you get to the foothills northeast of the lake. And as you approach one of the first high hills, you see what Tuco described. And you see, as you get to the crest of that high hill, this crater, basically, from which you assume these skeletons burst forth to wreak havoc on the camp the previous night. You look out from this high vantage point and see other hills hundreds of yards off in the distance, and you see similar kind of rubble from where these grave barrows had burst open.
More than the 7 or 8 that we faced.
You see precisely the amount. You take the time to like spatially study this, and you like look around and you see precisely the amount of barrows that equaled the number of the giant skeletons that you guys had defeated the previous night.
Are there any more?
Yes.
Okay.
In the distance, several hundred yards of up and down through these hills, in the distance, you see a few more of these mounds on top of some of the hills that have not burst open. I'm going to need to ask you what you're doing in terms of investigating these.
I say we dig up all the graves and take the bones away before.
I'm going to give back the necklace to Durant.
Can you perform some kind of rites on the unbursted graves to make sure nothing bursts forth? Didn't you used to do things like that in the old world?
The before time?
I will have to see if I remember how to do those things, but I can try. Should we find... Which one did the necklace come from?
So you were actually at the one where Tuco like made this discovery and where he grabbed this evidence. So you look down in the pit. It looks like earth and rock. You do see some scraps of like fur and leather that maybe infer like you're basically like, oh, this is what they were buried with and wearing or whatever. But it looks very old. Much like the bone necklace that he grabbed. This is not like, these aren't the graves of like some giants that were buried within the past few years. This looks very old.
I think giants have strong bones. Who've lasted all these years.
Please return the necklace.
put it back down where it was and do whatever the holy symbols I've ever seen people do.
And I'm going to begin a ritual to like attempt to not to like set these things right so that it's not like defiling a grave. I imagine that's more of a religious thing than a magical thing.
Yes. What would Durant equate this ritual to from before?
So before Durant had a specific spell for this.
Would it have been gentle repose?
It was actually ceremony, which was...
Ceremony, yes. You feel like you could do ceremony here.
Do I have to spend magic for it, or is it something that...
Make a willpower plus religion roll.
There's no such thing as cantrips.
So that's 12, 14.
What level of spiritual magic do you have?
At this point, I have 3.
What divinity or divinities are you calling upon to settle this land? More importantly, to settle the souls of this land.
I mean, looking around, I don't know the specific names of things, right? Because I don't know that within this world, but I will call to whatever deity these giants would have followed, if that's possible. So, like, just a...
And what'd you roll?
I rolled a 14, yeah.
So you are in this ceremony, and it occurs to you that you don't know specifically their deity.
Did Tuco speak giant?
Would you want to know?
Would you know what the equivalent would be?
I think so, because I'm returning this to them
For
as best I can. And I'm attempting not to, like... I'm attempting to set things as right as they can be set under the circumstances.
Okay, as you are doing this, there's something about like looking into this gravesite with the newly returned bone necklace, and you hear this like word in your head, and the word is Rome.
Rome?
As if that is the name of their god. Rome.
Okay. So I will be then saying the ceremony out loud using the name of Rome.
Okay, you feel like you have sanctified this space. And as I said, several hundred yards there, so there are whatever there were 8 of them that are open, but you see several hundred yards away that there are more.
Right, and obviously I haven't done anything with those yet. This is mainly for the ones that have burst open.
Yes.
Riff would have seen Durant mention Rome.
Yeah.
During this. I guess Riff acting kind of foolish, but being inspired by what he thinks was his first sort of encounter with a god, or the god, comes up and he puts his hand on like Durant's shoulder and just says, basically he tries to follow the same, I don't know if there was certain words that Durant would have used, but it would have been like
well, it's effectively the last rites.
Okay, like clearly this is not a spell or something that Riff would know how to do, but he just kind of says, "Upai vise oof, please." These beings who maybe died in protection of what is right, please do not let their remains be used for evil purposes, and let their spirits and bones be at rest and not be used for harmful purposes. That's like his best sort of.
The wind blows across the foothills. There's like kind of a whistling sound as it sort of whips in and out of the low and the high of these foothills.
Like, I don't know if that means anything, brother, but I've watched you do these kinds of things, and
I appreciate the support.
I think we need to have a talk at some point soon about
What was
me?
the name that you said?
Well, yeah, we haven't really talked about this yet, but when we went looking for the ship, I sort of cried out to the maker of all spirits.
Sort of.
Kind of, sort of like, if you're out there,
You're not busy.
we've kind of made a mess of things, I feel, and please help us know what to do. And this old looking man showed up on the beach and started walking towards me and basically said he is the one, which is kind of what I asked for, or what I was thinking in my head, that there must be kind of one all-powerful spirit that's behind the whole shebang and kind of made stuff that, like, I don't know for what purpose or what beings he made, but apparently he made, or it made, other Kupai. Does that word mean anything to you?
Does that word mean anything to me?
Well, you
No.
like gods, I think, because I asked him about the Kai and if all Kai could be trusted. Do you know what a Kai is?
Yes, I've spoken to a Kai.
And he said that Kai obey the Kupai. And Kupai are, I guess they serve the one, and it's the Lan which should not be trusted. Because I asked him if Kai can all be trusted. But then he told me that Kai serve the Kupai. Lan maybe could not be trusted. Does this make sense at all?
Yes.
I know I'm saying things that we've never even tried to talk about. Like, I don't even...
It makes sense. Generally speaking, reaching out to the one is not something that I have typically ever done, because the one, well, I don't know the one specifically, but
Yeah, I've heard you reach out to Daenerys, and I know there's someone that you spoke to here, and I just wanted to, before I kind of had this experience, I guess I had an experience. It's not something I thought I would ever say, but a spiritual experience. I would have said, be careful who you trust. How do you know you can trust this Sobak Roku? But
I mean, how do you know you can trust the one?
Right. I just want to tell you, you asked about the name. So anyway, it told me, remember the words Hupai Visaya. And you remember when I asked Gren about that and what that means? He said it was
an old god.
An old god that beings don't necessarily follow anymore. But it was the one that I met. And by the way, at some point I looked into the spirit realm, and I must have seen thousands upon thousands of Kai behind Upai Visay Oof. And it caused me great distress, and I was forced to my knees.
Maybe there's a reason that the one is no longer followed.
Maybe, but it basically went, and they all disappeared, and I was able to talk before its presence again. Anyway, this is all strange to me, but when I saw you, and I know you were trying to make sure we don't get attacked by giant bones again, I just thought maybe I should throw in this Hupai guy.
It was more that those skeletons effectively were defiled remains.
Yeah,
and they were used for an evil purpose.
That's what I think, because remember when we saw the vision of the past and the giants seemed to be fighting against some other evil from the northwest, or they were being shot as if they're being used against their, if they had a will when they're already dead. But I just wanted to make sure what happened last night at the camp doesn't happen again.
Of course.
And so at this point, I'm willing to reach out to unknown beings.
To that end, is there not value in perhaps seeing what happened last night? Maybe seeing the source of what caused them to rise?
I think that should be one of the things we look for. Anyway, you asked about the name, and that's all I can give you at this point. I'm still not sure what actually happened, if that actually happened, but it
believe
felt
that it did.
real.
I believe that it did. Divinity often reaches out when we ask and have purpose.
Riff turns back to Gren and asks, did I pronounce the name right? Hupai Visay Oof. Oof. Like oof.
Oof. I thought it was like HOU.
Upai. Visei. Oof.
Yeah, that's what I said. Hupai Visay.
No, you say Upai. Visai. Visei. I.
So I'm not sure who I just called out to, but I did feel a wind blow for what it's worth. I said it. Did you guys notice that? Wind?
It seems like any other wind.
I'm sure it's fine. Let's go in search of the, I don't know, whatever maybe behind.
The worst that could happen.
Yeah. Anyway, just wanted to explain why I said and did what I just did. And that you've been a good role model for me. Things are rubbing off that I think are good because most of the things that you do seem to go in our favor. Don't let it go to your head, though. Riff kind of walks away like he feels a bit uncomfortable. Geeks in the girls.
Okay. What does ceremony
Okay.
do anyway?
Like it's basically like a bunch of different effects that are dialed in for the situations. It can be like last rites. It can be like a wedding ceremony, like binding that wedding with divine energy. There's a couple other things.
Is it a buff at all, or does it?
It's purely the reason it's a cantrip is because it's like purely
it's a
ceremony.
Cantrip, so here it would not be. Got it.
I was trying to do it in such a way that was more spiritual than magical,
Got it. Cool.
so that it wouldn't cost qua.
Yeah, nice try. All right, I can't.
Did it cost qua, by the way? Should I be marking that off?
You didn't channel Qua to enact an actual spiritual effect.
Okay.
So
This is bullshit.
yeah. So you're looking down into one of 8 open graves. The only one that Tuco looked into.
Okay.
And you see, for as far as you could see, like a half mile of hills. You see more of them that are not open.
Okay, let's Scooby-Doo this shit.
Okay, so you guys...
We're going to look back and see what happened to these 8.
Do of the past to see if anybody was there to.
Echoes of the past.
Yeah.
For what?
To see if
What
the
happened last
necromancer
night?
person was here.
Yes.
Okay.
Thank you, Humphrey, for reminding me that I can do that. I was so caught up in the moment of praying, I guess. I do. I hope it hasn't been too long. It's only been 12 hours, maybe. Riff concentrates on
about that.
Echoes of the past on this gravesite.
Okay. Make a
Yeah, that was
perception plus magic roll.
Wait, what?
Perception plus
Oh, deception. Deception.
half that.
Plus magic roll.
Social manipulation.
Give me the best five, you guys.
Time to deceive time.
16.
Okay. That is 2 notches above the necessary. All right. So you begin to kind of look back again in this kind of plateau, this hilly foothills area with all these things. You look back and you see the daytime become nighttime, and then the nighttime go back to the time at just after dusk. You see these things, like you see the giant skeletons like rewind back into the graves, and the ground around them kind of reform into these barrows above these hills. You kind of pause, you look around, you don't see any people there. You don't see any like visual representation of what caused these things to burst open.
Can you boost?
You go to the point where the first of them burst open, and they all kind of burst open and started popping out within a few minutes of each other. But you again look across the horizon of these many, many hills. You don't see anyone, but you see each of these things in turn kind of, they kind of quake and then they blow open, and then you see these skeletons kind of crawl out, and they kind of crawl out and they start walking, and then the other ones kind of crawl out and they start joining, and they become this squad of these giant skeletons.
Can I concentrate while I'm doing that on Ghost Sight, having Ghost Sight to look in the spirit realm to see if there's anything else that materializes?
Yes, let's minus off the qua for the temporal magic and more qua for Ghost
He's
Sight.
like, this is going to cost you.
Total is that?
How much total is it?
2 is for echoes, 1 is for Ghost Sight. I was going to put down 3, but if there's more because of
3.
Right.
You look through Ghost Sight through this vision of the past. You see a purple glowing shaft of light hit the first grave, and then you see it, and the skeleton comes out, and then they all
from above.
Yep, they just seem to come from the sky. Just great, like
So not
cylinders of purple light.
No
source.
Wow.
Well, we're fighting a god.
Do you have spatial magic?
I doubt it.
Can I boost him?
I have no spatial magic.
No, because he's seen things that you aren't currently.
Could I do Mind Link to give us all vision into?
You could do Mind Link to let you see what Riff is seeing. Yes.
What does it look like when Riff's doing that? Is he kind of would they be able to give some kind of thing to them? He's not really seeing anything that's useful. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
For someone to come up and say, we need to help him in a way to get more info. I mean, you would sense that probably more than anyone. It's Durant.
I mean, yeah, I guess what I can do is I can do the Mind Link business.
And that should allow us all to help out if we need to.
I don't know if it does or doesn't because we're not really directly in the past.
But if you don't, if you say it with confidence, Bill might not recognize it. It's a limitation.
So Mind Link is a cost of 3 qua. So if I spend more qua, I can add more people to the link. So
how much more?
So effectively, I think what I'll do is I'll spend the 3 for myself, and then I'll loop in Tuco, and I'll just loop in everybody. I'll include what's the
Humphrey.
Nizak's name?
You might not want to do that.
Okay.
You remember what Gren said about magic and gods.
Yeah.
The Nizak don't use magic, and they don't believe in gods.
Okay, so I will leave.
And right now,
Right
nothing that
now.
you're doing is obviously a vulgar display of magic. So he's just watching. It's a very neutral. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So I guess I'll spend 5 qua to loop everybody
Okay.
except Gren. And
Make me a religion plus willpower roll.
8, 10, 12, 13.
More than sufficient. A full step above. You are linked in. You guys are able to communicate telepathically and see what Riff is seeing in both the spirit realm and time.
Can I boost with my mental ability?
So here's the question. Do you have spirit?
No.
So you could see what he's seeing. So when you say, can I boost him, what are you trying to boost?
Trying to see what we're trying to actually do is determine the source of this power, right? So be it a person. I'm not going to think, is this a person or a god doing this?
Okay.
Right.
By the way, when I see these purple beams coming down from sky, is it just I saw it once, or is it kind of
Oh, it was every one of them had one of these
It
things.
just keeps going so that by the time they mind link in, they're able to see that too, like replayed? You know what I mean? Like
You
repeated.
can rewind it.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's what
Do I feel the mind link? Like
Yeah.
I know what they're
Yeah,
doing?
you
Okay.
know.
All right. So I do that so they can.
So you
whoever can
rewind
see
it. You guys see this same thing where you see the 8 barrows that opened up. Like you see this shaft of purple light hit the barrow, and then
Are they
the
coming from a
skeleton comes out,
single location?
and then no, just from the sky.
So that's what I was trying to use my.
So you want to use spatial and mental?
I guess just mental. I'm trying to determine is there something around that's causing this, or is it something that it doesn't register as a being giving off mental energy. I don't know how you describe it.
Well, could you use spatial magic to detect the source of?
Yes, but I don't want to I don't want to burn.
Doesn't
off.
Do you have spiritual magic?
No, I don't. Like, I don't want to burn extra qua if
So
there's
he
no
can't
mental.
boost something that he's witnessing secondhand. That's what I'm trying to say.
Okay, so
In my mind, Riff can perceive the spiritual element of this, right? The purple light is not something that he saw when he rewound time. He saw it when he rewound time and added the ghost side.
Yeah, but I can use mental magic to determine is there a presence of other beings, intelligent beings around?
No, not in the vicinity that you could see.
Well, what if I say please?
I'm not saying there's not a way to do it. I'm just saying you guys have not determined how to do it.
So, but I could like detect maybe spiritual energy within the.
You can detect the spiritual energy that you could see or that Riff could see within your human sight.
Right.
Yep, you sure can do that.
And there's obviously spiritual energy there.
And all you see is the purple shafts of light hitting each of the graves and waking up the dead.
Fuck. Could I?
You cannot star 69 the spiritual energy until you invoke some other kind of magic in conjunction with what you're using to see it.
Well, I get that.
In other words, if you want to backtrace it, you have to
Guys, cross the streams. Come on.
Right,
Get
we're
across-
not supposed to cross the stream.
So I guess what I'm trying to work out here is like if I put more qua into like tracing it, like how does that work? Like do I
It's the type of magic that you're using. How do you find anything? What kind of magic is about finding? So if you use a specific magic, spatial magic, in conjunction with spiritual magic, you could backtrace the source. He has the spatial magic, but he doesn't have the spiritual.
I have the spiritual, but I don't have the spatial. So how do we make
You got chocolate by peanut butter.
chocolate?
That's
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
So you have the spiritual. He has the spatial. You blow 2 qua, you blow 2 qua, and together you can backtrace it.
Our powers combined. This sounds like what we just talked about
Powers
on our
activate.
Feedback Friday.
See?
Relevance.
You
Burn too much
concentrate, and then you see that all of these purple shafts of light are coming from the north, past the foothills, miles past the foothills. You remember when you were doing your aerial surveillance around the first lake and you saw your foothills, and then miles past that you saw 3 mountains.
And those were the mountains the captain also said.
No, the captain said the mountains to the way north of the island.
Oh, okay.
The mountains
Further
that you
that.
saw when you came around
Okay.
the island. These are a few miles away. They're 5 miles away. But that's what you backtrace. The source of that purple energy is somewhere in the 3 mountains.
Let's do this. Can we pinpoint it to which mountain?
Yes. Well, roll. Let me see how specific your information is.
So
Who's rolling?
So
yeah.
you're rolling for spatial. So
Okay.
you actually don't roll. You're granting him the ability to use spatial to backtrace
Spatial
it from a
plus
spiritual perspective.
Willpower?
Yes. No.
Damn it.
Magic plus willpower.
Yeah, okay, I'll take that.
It is a higher difficulty, though, and there's a reason for that.
I feel like asking Grin to kind of like hold Riff saying, Grin,
Full disclosure.
14.
do that.
14 is enough.
I'll take enough.
It's the middle of the three mountains.
Okay.
You don't know exactly where, though, because of reasons.
Because of reasons.
Plot armor.
Sounds very cromulent to me. So, yes.
Well, I mean, these reasons could be inferred. For example, how powerful of a creature or being do you have to be
To resurrect
8 giant skeletons from miles away?
I mean, is it harder to resurrect a giant skeleton?
Are you powerful enough to also cloak where your location is through spatial magic? Probably.
Could be a red herring.
Let me just
I doubt it's
adjust my plot armor right now. All right, so you guys have a very clear image that if you travel towards those 3 mountains, that the center mountain, for some reason, that is the origin point of this weird purple resurrection light.
How long do we think it would take us to walk there and climb?
Up and down, a few hours.
To get to the mountains? Okay.
Or you could just blow through a whole bunch of quad and fly there.
Yeah, that sounds...
I mean, why not? It's not like you're going to need it later.
No, we've got the flute or the necklace of many necklaces.
And if he's familiar at all with these mountains, does he know any lore or?
No, I've not been here before.
Yeah, nobody's been.
Do you know of
First expedition to this island with no name.
no tales of 3 mountains and anything?
No. Gren been to many places on Arakazine. Gren been to Nicaea 2 times. Did work.
Okay.
We have reasons to believe that the power behind raising of the giant skeletons is somewhere in those mountains.
I want to say an elfish.
Magic? For which skeletons come to life?
Yes, it seems to be evil magic.
Is human?
No idea.
Humanoid, I believe, from past experience.
Wait, what
And humans
humanoid?
make magics without speak words?
Sorry, what?
Can humans make magics without speak words?
With enough power, I would think so.
Then find and smash jaw for not talking magics.
Yes,
Oh,
I agree. Smash jaw.
Must smash before.
Okay.
I want to say an elfish. Real quick, do we want Gren to be able to fly with us? Will that freak him out?
He's gonna die
We don't have
if he comes with us.
That's what I'm saying. Should we just spend a couple hours walking?
We have the necklace.
Why don't we just
Let's look
send
for-
Bren back to camp carrying news of what we're planning?
Exactly right. Exactly right. He can be our herald, and
He's got a big stick. He knows how to use it. We could use more help.
Yeah, we needed him for looking at the gravesite, though. We accomplished that.
Also, he didn't really do much back at that battle at the camp the other day. He's going to stood in the middle of the camp.
We don't want him to die.
I think you're a
What
low
did he do?
value NPC.
Well,
So,
think
He didn't
about that.
attack. He didn't attack anyone.
Well, to whose side did he go?
The captain.
okay.
And we need a way to get information back to the
Send him,
captain.
agreed. We say we send him back with hey, we're gonna go over there, and if we don't come back, we'll end our deaths.
We need someone to watch the captain's back, make sure nothing happens to him. Because without him, we're all screwed.
I think it's a bad idea to send Grin back. Just
We got your ruby slippers. I think we're okay. How screwed can we be?
If is what you wish, Gren will go back to Captain. Tell that you go to mountains.
I'm outnumbered, so be it.
I think he dies.
Walk safe.
Each one of us can.
He turns and starts walking back down the hill, back towards the open lands in the camp.
Whoosh.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So we can.
So after about 5 minutes, you see Gren has become just like kind of a speck on the horizon, and he's hundreds of yards away. What do you want to do?
So we either walk there and burn 3-4 hours doing so and expose ourselves to a bunch of encounters or booby traps or whatever, or we use the necklace and fly our bitch asses over there.
Yes.
I know what I would choose.
Visible or invisible?
I would doubt it would matter to this guy.
Exactly. Nothing would matter to this guy.
So I say we burn our quaw.
Could we conceal ourselves in some way other than being invisible?
That's the
result of the ducks. They'll never figure it out.
Well, what I mean is, can we mask our approach, like in terms of, I don't know, bending space-time to like make a bubble around us that like is invisible to whatever methods.
Oh, you get a pocket dimension or something like that.
Fly in a pocket dimension. Sure, that sounds safe.
We have a bag of holding that could stuff you guys all in, and we get all stuff in, and then
What level of spiritual magic do you have now?
4. Great. I'm not thinking of something.
I know.
Did you see the look he just gave me?
He does that look every time we try to think to do something.
You have moved. So Riff has moved. Whole ass body and mind and spirit into the spirit world. Out of the material world. But you feel like after your recent come to God hoof moment, that you might have the power to move them with you into the spirit world and thus not be even remotely on the material plane.
But then how do we get ourselves to the physical destination we need to?
Well,
Fly.
walk, fly, doesn't really matter.
Oh, is there like a corresponding in the spiritual world? There's a corresponding.
It's a mirror. So everything is the same. It's just black and white and
It's the upside down. And,
So like with my new, more powerful spell, or just the fact that I'm at level 4 and with my any spiritual?
yes, have some.
Yes.
The answer to that, both of those questions is yes. You could
Gotcha.
do things in a lot of different ways. But you are fairly certain that you have the ability now to do that.
Okay. That's good to know.
Bring it home, Big Daddy.
So what do we know about this power? I'm calling it evil because it seems to like doing harm to others. What do we know about this power behind
Nothing.
not just this attack, but the past attack that we saw earlier?
They wanted our ship or something.
If that's the same being,
If fair.
we don't have any proof.
We don't have any
I
knowledge.
agree. It could be.
But the correlation between the two, I think, is pretty consistent enough for me to
I mean,
assume that.
if it was just that group of humans we saw on that island, they seem to be on an island further away from where we're headed. They might have known about this thing too, and they might have just been looking for a way to get off this island.
You're absolutely right.
But the question is, how do they have that speed power to just motorboat?
No idea. So that's why it's too much of a coincidence for me to ignore.
I think where I'm going with this is I feel like I'm more in touch with kind of this spiritual realm now. The question is, this evil mage, do we suspect it can see in the spiritual realm too? Or
I mean, chances are it can, because look, it just resurrected a bunch of
Jet ass people.
how far are we from?
But even
10 months.
Nizak seemed to
Almost
intimate
really
that
close.
there is a difference between God magic and human magic. So maybe they are separate. I don't know.
I want us to keep going. Right, go
To
ahead.
be specific, when Bren was telling you some history lessons of Arakazine, he mentioned that mortal men have gods. That the Kemrog had magic. That was the distinction.
Yeah, there's something maybe different. We don't know. I don't know.
Is it possible what we're going up against is Kemrog?
I don't know what camera.
That would be so cool, but you guys would.
Well, I know that they didn't like the
There's
North
chance
layout.
we-
If do we see snow in the mountains? I mean, can we from this
I would
distance?
say that when you guys first came to the island, remember we were passing by the north, the peaks of the mountains, the tall mountains, like in the north of the island had snow.
I mean,
I
10 miles
remember-
away isn't that far at all.
I remember that the Kimrog, I mean, Grin said this. They didn't go Northlands because they don't like snow and ice. So if that's Northlands, we might not find Kimrog.
Similar, yeah.
But whatever this thing is sounds like probably worse than Kimrog.
Okay, so if we go there, what is and we obviously want to find the source of this. What's our plan on how we want to find the source? Is it scrying? Is it temporal? Now that we're closer to get more detailed resolution on the thing that we just did. Is it fly around and hope to wait till we draw some fire and then they hope that gives away their location?
Initially get there and look for more information, and then
Okay, maybe
generic means don't do, then we have to maybe add some more magical means.
Riff starts to look around at the area because he remembers as you went north or towards the mountains, the ground wasn't as nice and soft. It started getting more.
It's very rocky with sporadic scrub brush.
Okay.
In the like low chasms between the hills, where there's like a little more moisture, there's there's like moss and there's some grasses that grow up. But kind of at the tops of each of these hills, it's just rocks.
At the top of these mountains is the higher than tree line.
The mountains or the foothills?
The mountains.
The mountains that are 10 miles away are much higher than the tree line. Yeah, much higher than the foothills that you're in.
Yeah.
The foothills that you're in are anywhere from like 50 to 80 feet tall from base level.
Yeah, I'm just trying to figure out these craggy peaks.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, there's a couple different things. There's the 3 mountains that we're heading toward,
Right.
and then there's the big mountains on the further
3 mountains that you're heading towards. The middle of those 3 is where you guys collectively sensed the source of that magic had come.
Okay.
Right.
I say we spirit world it. Sorry, that idea has not been floated.
I thought you were going to say fly, but okay.
No, yeah, we can fly, but you wanted to go in the spirit world.
Well, what I want to do is test sense danger to feel if there's any evil aggression.
Willpower plus magic.
And then fly while having that going on. 18.
Wow. Okay, because of the degree of success that you achieved, you have determined that there may be danger, but you feel like it's a maybe, not based on the danger itself, the potential for danger itself, but based on your choices. That inherently there is the potential for danger, but that danger could be greater or lesser depending on your choices.
I mean, yes, that sounds like existence. Okay. That's
All right,
fair.
maybe put it a different way. It's more about how you interact that will determine whether something is going to be
You
dangerous.
go marching over there with bugles, it's probably not.
Let's
gonna
be cautious from here on and make good choices.
Solid advice.
No more bad choices.
We can all
In the
agree,
past, they've
right?
not always been great.
Isn't it true that there are no bad choices?
When you look at Durant and Tuco, you feel like the danger is not as bad. But when you look at Humphrey, you're like, yeah, this could be really dangerous. You're like,
Humphrey's got this inflated sense of what
well,
his capabilities are.
man,
I mean,
just ask questions first, please. That's all I'm asking you for. Don't shoot first.
I can take you all into the spirit realm, but it doesn't last forever. So I'm kind of thinking,
No, if you're flying and in the spirit
well,
realm,
yeah.
it will last.
I wasn't thinking flying yet, but yeah, if we did, then yeah, okay, I'm up for that.
Let's do it. You're spirit
Right.
master.
So-
You got the necklace. It's all you, buddy.
You doing it?
Yeah.
Make the roll.
Everyone,
You guys good with it?
And this is
I didn't hear
Spirit.
it. You guys good with it?
This is the spirit
Okay.
first.
Yeah.
So this is going to be willpower plus magic. This is your first time trying this.
14.
Okay. So that's a notch above. So you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So 7 qua. And all of you have a very weird experience. because it's not just your consciousness, like when you were carrying the mental link, which, by the way, is still active.
So we didn't actually speak a word.
Your entire whole bodies go into another world. Unlike ghosts, like when you have ghost sight, it's like 2 video feeds, right? Like you have
overlaid on top of each other.
Now you're just in the black and white. You're just in the spirit.
Well,
and you freaking out. Even you're looking at your hands and arms, and it's just the spirit. You are in it.
Tuco's freaking out.
As you look around, and are you flying? Yes.
Oh, yeah.
We're all gonna fly.
Minus off the quad.
No, we're using the necklace.
Oh, wisdom. Okay.
You can use my necklace.
You see each one of you that has any enchanted item that came here with you from the before is glowing. What magic items do you have? You have the slippers and the boots and the scimitar?
Scimitar was magical, but I didn't get it from the giant. I got that from my master.
Yeah.
I have my boots. I have my chest pieces, which I probably don't see anything because it's inside, and I have my bracers.
So only the things that they could see. So the bracers, nice golden glow. The scimitar, nice golden glow. The boots, crimson red glow. What visible magic items would you have?
Scarf. I'd be holding the clay still.
You would have that in a pouch.
Oh, I'd have the clay. Yeah, I'd have the clay. I'd probably be wearing the scarf.
Nice gold. What's the scarf do again?
It says spiritual effect twice per day, but it never really was defined.
Golden glow.
Yeah. All my stuff would be in a pouch.
Okay.
Bow, quiver, and necklace.
Golden glow, golden glow, golden glow.
Oh, I also have a necklace as well. That's
What's the necklace?
Mind effect. It's effectively 2 casts of Mind Shield.
What was the actual name of the thing?
Oh, Copper Heart necklace.
And when you invoked that request from the King Who Sleeps, what did you call that? Was it like the love of a mother?
Yeah, it was the love of a mother.
That has a slightly different, warmer kind of orangey golden glow.
No.
Okay, so you're in the spirit. You invoke the power of the necklace, and you guys now are basically weightless and can move at will. You start just flying across and over the spectral landscape.
Mm-hmm.
And you see, as you pass over the open graves, you see the other ones that are unopened, and they just have a subtle kind of white, pale glow kind of over them. Of spiritual.
I feel like I'm looking through a flare sort of feed, a heat feed or something.
Yeah, you see, and they're dormant, so it's not a volatile glowing that's moving. It's just a very dull kind of, as if there is, dormant spiritual energy at each one of the unopened graves. As you move across that landscape, going at very rapid speeds through the spiritual world, up ahead, you kind of crest the last set of foothills, and you see these 3 mountains unfolding before you. And then you see, at the central mountain that you're heading towards, you see that there's a kind of a cave opening. And next to that cave opening, you see a figure who is seated in almost a meditative pose, just at the mouth of this cave. And that figure is not glowing a color, but instead it's an aura of dark shadow, almost a inky black kind of pulsating shadow is around that figure. And you see the figure just sitting in this meditative pose. You're flying closer.
Should we go down?
Fire at will.
You are several hundred yards away.
Ready as an arrow.
Still flying towards it?
Just flying.
We
got to think.
200 yards away.
We got to think about this.
Walk in.
I mean, here's the thing. Our magical items probably make us a whole lot more visible.
Yes.
Agreed.
I don't think this thing saw us coming before we even got to this island.
I think it already knows we're here.
Yeah.
Better to have cover, land.
Then, right. So we need an approach. Are we going to fire first? Or are we going to try to have a conversation? Or are we going to investigate and not engage at all?
I think a conversation never hurts.
I mean, it very well
Maybe
could.
it's just been wanting to meet us. and it's just been sending.
It was just shy.
messages.
It's pulling my pigtails. So let me know it likes it. It likes me. I mean, come on.
That's not ominous at all.
I think we need to make some rolls, guys.
No, you don't. I'm just waiting to hear something.
So okay, so we have a decision to make about one of 3 different approaches. Do we talk to it? Do we just investigate, or do we attack it?
Riff uses.
It's hard to see the form because it's shrouded in inky darkness that's undulating and moving.
Could we use spiritual energy to see the form better?
You are in the spirit already.
Yeah, we can't really do much more spirit.
I don't think we want to attack without more knowledge.
Okay, so we take attack off the table.
So
Or do we
what
talk
you
to it,
don't,
or
what
do
you
we
don't see
investigate?
is what's the material presentation of this form. You are in the spirit, so you're seeing the spirit form of it. And the spirit form of it is just an inky, undulating, pulsating blackness.
Okay. So if we don't want to attack it, then do we want to just investigate and try not to engage?
Yeah.
Or do we want to engage and talk?
But I want
try to interact with it.
But I want Riff to predict the attack.
Oh, hold on.
First.
Okay. Sorry. Wait. We're attacking it?
No. I can predict an opponent's attack before they do it.
Okay. Cool.
I've never done that before.
That sounds good. But what I'm trying to get everybody to talk about here is what we're just flying around without a plan.
We do.
Right. Yeah. It's so.
All right.
Do we want to engage with it or not?
I think I don't think we can ignore it, and I don't think it's going to ignore us, whatever it is.
Okay.
So yes,
but
we have to investigate.
I don't think attacking is necessarily the right approach.
Okay.
Here.
We can take attacking off the table.
I think we need to investigate and then decide whether to attack or
okay. So
does one of you want to jump out of the spirit realm and
I don't think we should talk.
Make a straight willpower roll.
I knew you were going to
straight will.
Knew you were going to.
We took too long.
That's not great. Actually, it's not bad either. 7.
8. You hear a voice in your head.
Oh, damn it. So we all hear the voice then, because we're all mind linked.
Yeah,
because you're all mind linked.
Yeah.
But it targets you. If I wanted to kill all of them, I would have awoken the others.
Why did you want to kill some of them?
Killing was not the intent.
Scaring? Distracting?
Yes.
Why did you take our ship?
I did not take your ship.
So you wanted us to leave?
It would have been much more convenient.
Are you searching for the unobtainium as well?
You're already thinking that?
Yeah.
Wait, we all hear this because of the.
Oh yeah, you're all in the
mental
mind
link.
Yeah.
Searching. No.
Are you protecting it? Is it yours?
Among other things. It is not anyone's.
Okay, so this person's.
But if someone were to claim it, I would have the most rightful claim.
Why?
To do with it.
I would keep it from man.
What are you if not man?
I oppose.
It's not a complete sentence.
We should have brought Gren.
You oppose man?
Yeah, right?
Yes.
You oppose violators of this land?
Yes.
Are you of Nizak?
Don't be foolish. The Nizak do not wield any power.
Can you get us our ship back so we can get out of here?
No.
What if I... No.
Other ships will come. The men of your camp will survive.
Will you...
But their explorations onto the island will not go any further than where you are now.
If we are able to broker a deal with the men the men of our camp to leave this island and not come back, will you ensure our protection until we can be rescued?
Absolutely.
Why
They
do you
will not
oppose
go
man?
past the lake. They will stay in the land where they are. They will have more than enough land and water and fish and beasts to eat and land to grow.
What are you protecting or trying to keep the men from?
This place.
What's so special about this place?
Many things. They will not exploit it. That is why they all have come. Generation after generation, they have come seeking things, and they will not have those things.
How have we come to be here?
Ooh, that is a fantastic question. Eight, 14, 16, 17. I don't know, but you also don't belong here, and I think you know that.
Okay. Do we have any more questions?
Did the gods bring you here?
We don't know.
We don't know.
Would you feel more comfortable sitting on the rocks?
And speaking
And
with
you notice this shadowy form like extends its hands like to like the little plateau that is like the outcropping just outside of the cave entrance.
No, probably not. Rocks are hard.
Then you will stay in the spirit,
I will approach.
but come no further unless all of you agree to come in peace.
I think that's fair that we can go in peace. The guy could clearly, jack us up if it wanted to. So let's get some more information as we get.
If I wanted to, I could.
I come in the name of Hupai Visay Oof, and you cannot oppose him or
You
his
do
will.
not.
Well,
Oh, my bad. I guess I'm done.
Actually, I forgot that he actually,
we just met yesterday.
he says, I saw. I am curious why he came to you. Will you come sit and speak on the rocks?
you saw what? Anyone can say, I saw.
I saw when Upai Vasii Oof came to you with the Legion of Kai. It is curious that he would respond to you, an outsider,
Does he?
especially a fool who cannot even speak his name.
Does he oppose you?
Of course. But he doesn't know that I'm here.
Do all the Kai and the Kupai oppose you?
The Kapu and the Kai.
We're all
Curious. Perhaps. Perhaps not.
What are you?
I am. Approach and join the physical world. Sit on the rocks that we will speak.
This seems safe. Let's do this.
I mean, yeah, let's.
I mean,
let's
he
do
could.
this.
I honestly, again, it could apparently jack us all up if it wanted to. I don't see how it would be.
Why do you want us to sit?
It will be more comfortable for you. The form that I take will be more reassuring.
I'm going to invoke my mind shield at this point, although it's probably already probed me enough.
Okay, bust that out.
From the necklace, yeah.
Are you guys re-emerging to the material world?
Yes.
Riff is not at this point. He's not a material girl.
I knew that joke was coming. So look, if we can't all do it,
Well, I have a choice in the matter. It's what they're doing.
No, we all have to agree. He said.
Well, I mean, you don't know how to step out of the spirit. So if Riff permits it, you can step out, and you'd still be flying technically. So it would be like when Frodo reappears after taking off the ring. You just like bamf into existence.
No, if they want to step out and I don't, can I do that?
Presumably,
Would I even know?
I would feel some will from them, whether they're trying to get out of this
Well,
area.
that and you have a mental link, so
The two. Okay.
Oh yeah.
Whatever you think is.
Did I read the intent of this guy with I have mental 4?
or after you step out of the spiritual
No.
realm,
No, while it's still in.
perception plus magic.
Perception. Where's my perception? Perception.
Durant, what are you inclined to do? You feel like shielding your mind might be a good move.
Yes.
And I want to stay in the
Go ahead,
spirit
make a
world
willpower plus magic roll.
because he wants us out.
What'd you get?
20.
Much like Riff, the intent is based on your choices. You have an inclination that if you handle this encounter in a tactful way, that there may not be any malintent or any threat of danger.
Okay. What was
But
the
you
qual
also
cost?
feel like 2. But if you also feel like if you don't handle this the right way,
I will die.
it could be very bad.
Okay.
What'd you get?
7, 9, 11, 13.
Okay, you're like, whoop. Now when you do that, because you activated the mind link, you guys don't have the mind link anymore. But you're locked.
Okay. Sorry, guys.
You guys, the 3 of you here in your minds, come to the material, join me in the rocks that we will speak. You'll have to tell your friend. He has closed himself off to me.
Okay. I would like to join.
I'm going to stay with my friend.
I feel like I have much to learn from this.
I would like to join.
You see the spirit, while you're still in the spirit, you see the spirit like stand up and like the shadows kind of follow and like flow around him. And he seems to be like a medium-sized man-shaped form. But you see no like features. It's just swirling.
Material or
Yeah.
spirit?
You're in the spirit. This
No,
is before you emerge
okay.
in the material. Stand up and like walk around and then like sit down on some kind of object. And just seems to be like waiting there. So you emerge from the spirit.
I do.
I'm also emerging from the spirit.
I'm going to land, but on a rise somewhere, and I'm going to stay in the spirit world if I can.
Okay. Interesting.
You're staying in
I would
spirit.
say so.
So
Tuco can stay.
spirit.
Yeah.
Spirit.
Material.
Okay.
Material.
You two appear. You're floating. You're still flying. You kind of like levitate down to this outcropping, and you see that there is a circle of 6 stones. Yeah, there's a circle of 6 stones. And you see a man, like a normal human-looking man in his like 30s with like fair skin and dark curly hair. Like this length, dark curly hair. And he's wearing like a robe, like a sky blue robe.
Something like
And he has like a few rings and like a necklace. He's wearing like kind of velvety slippers, almost like he just woke up for breakfast. And he's sitting on a stone.
Did we notice any glowing from him other than the dark?
When you were in the spirit,
Yes.
no, just the shadowy thing happening around him.
I sit down on the stone. I mean, I already checked his intentions, and it seemed like as long as I'm not a douche, neither will he.
Except I still have a mental link with Humphrey.
3 of us.
Yes.
Like, Humphrey, what do you see in the material?
I said, this is a man. He's pale skin, just looks like a normal guy, dark curly hair, and he's sitting. There's a stone circle, 6 stones, and he's sitting on one of them. And
Ask his name. It's his elemental, of course.
yeah. Okay, so I go and I sit down on a stone,
He gestures.
and so I'd like to ask, what's your name?
He gestures for you to sit.
I sit as well.
What is your name?
I have many names.
Can you give me one of them? What should I call you?
You can call me
Al.
And then he stops and he's like, I cannot say the name. You are from somewhere else, not here. If I were to say the name, something very bad could happen.
It's a name.
Did you worship other gods in this other place that you came from?
I mean, I didn't personally.
I know this.
I did.
What is the name of the god that you worshipped? Is your god here?
I'm just going to stare back. I'm not going to answer that.
He says, how did you come to the knowledge of magic? In this other place?
Through intense study and dedication of my life.
Yes. Is it not rewarding to be so powerful?
It absolutely is. Coming to this world has been such an awakening for me.
And it was not a god. It was within you the whole time. To be able to do this, to channel the power, the very fabric of reality, to bend it to your will.
It is an amazing feeling.
I would agree.
This,
One could say that I have walked a similar path.
That's
Be careful of
But you
the-
don't wield this power. You
I'm getting into
you are granted power by a god. I saw it some days ago, perhaps a week. You were visited by the three-eyed god, Savak Boku.
it was.
Or was it by one of his Kai?
Perhaps.
I want to say in the mind link.
But you did not know of the god, Savak Boku, before you came to this place. What was the name, the true name of the god from before? Share it with me. There's no harm. He's not here.
I don't know your name. Why should I share his?
I will tell you a name. I cannot speak it in the tongue because I am afraid that because you are from elsewhere, it would shatter your mind.
Is there a way I can judge his intent?
Yes. Make a perception plus social manipulation roll.
And I want to, in the mind link, say, be careful of the temptation of power.
So those of you who are in the spirit, you're still seeing so you see the spiritual aura of your friends and their magic items, but then you see the spiritual aura of the inky darkness, just sitting there chilling with them.
well, this is not encompassing circling me.
Not good. 7.
Okay. You think that this guy has been pretty forthright, but you still feel uneasy. He says, you came here from somewhere else. But it wasn't the gods that brought you here?
We have no idea what brought us here.
He says, yes, you do. You must. One does not come that far without knowing why or how. You must know. Was it your magic? It
were on
must
a
have been
quest.
magic, a great magic that brought you here, not a god. That's why he won't tell me the name of his true god. That must be it.
And so
All the others from the spirit to come. We can talk, and together we can discover this.
Can I?
I am at an inflection point.
Can I reach out
Because
and
I have so much to share. You may be the ones that I've waited eons for. Hundreds of years, thousands of years I've been on this island.
what is your
Many have come and all have failed. You may be the ones.
what is your intent?
Intent to be free.
Free of what?
Free of this place. Thousands of years.
This place, this island,
This-
or this?
He gestures around. This.
Your desire is to leave.
Guys, let's go.
Of course.
You guys need to drop out of.
Your desire is to leave. Leave this.
I have served this place. I have tried. Many have come before.
You said you
Shodari, Goot, Rogaru, the Suineist, Man. All of them have come before. all of them have failed.
Failed to do what?
Failed to live here. They couldn't be here.
They failed.
They
to
were
live
given
here.
everything. Everything is here, and they failed.
What is failure in your mind?
Failure to live, to find harmony and peace with the land. All of them failed. Those men at the camp will fail. You know this. You know it in your heart, don't you? That's why the others failed. That's why the others left. They took the ship because they knew. They had figured it out. They had determined it. They knew that they would fail.
So
I think you have failed. You are the one that is trapped here.
you're not.
I am not a teacher. I am a
Hold up, but you're not. You're still in spiritual.
Yeah, but I can still hear them.
Yeah, that's true.
Oh,
Yeah.
fair.
Well,
Well, he was obviously communicating.
hold the phone, champ.
Because he's in the spirit world too, because we can see the dark.
What do the bones say?
Lots of 2s and 3s.
10, 12, 16, 20. He says, may I please just invite one more time your friends?
By all means, they.
What oath must I tell you that I will not harm you? I will not harm you at this moment, or for the rest of the time that the sun is in the sky. I will not harm you if you sit and speak with me. I must know more. You must know more. Surely you know this.
Can I?
I don't trust you.
Can I see if he's using like?
You see he closes his eyes and shakes his head, and then you see the inky spectral form go and look over at you in the spirit and say, of course you don't trust me.
Can I use magic? Can I use knowledge of magic to see if he's like spinning any magical effects onto those of us that are in the material plane?
Okay, so tell me the types of magic that you would like to use level 1 perception on.
It's like detect magic.
Like, what types of magic do you have?
Well, I could
Literally just list off the types.
Yeah, sure. I'm looking for that. Hold on.
I kind of want to lead him on.
I'm
Spiritual, mental?
aiming my longbow.
Yeah, spiritual, mental, energetic, corporeal. That's my list.
Spiritual, yes. Mental, yes.
I don't see how
Corporeal, no. And what was the other one?
energetic.
Yes.
Okay, I would like to do that. Is it 1 qua per?
Just minus off 1 qua. You kind of look around and open up your senses in those magic types that you're trained in, and you just see bubbles upon bubbles upon bubbles all around him in this cave. Like he has warded everything. In the same way that you put up a mind shield, he just like warded the entire cave.
He warded the entire cave, but there are no...
him.
Okay.
You're in the bubble.
Okay, so I'm in the bubble and I'm subject to potential manipulation.
You don't sense that it's manipulation. You feel like these words are defensive in nature, as if in someone trying to use something against him, these would trigger and shield.
I see you have a lot of defenses engaged.
Of course. Wouldn't you? There are
course.
4 of you and only 1 of me. I should have liked to seen Nizak. They have not been here before. Did you know that?
If we would love to show you one.
Well, I could see him, but I mean, to sit with him at the stones.
Well, it's a shame that you won't leave the stones.
It is a shame. That's the whole point. It's a shame.
Can you leave the stone?
No.
So you've been bound to this cave.
Yes.
What's in the cave?
Sit and talk with me. Invite them to come.
Why is it so important that you can't talk to us?
I have told you many things so far. You have answered some of my questions, but not all of them.
No, we are open books. Let me know what questions you have.
I must know. Was it gods or magic that brought you here from the other place?
It may have been gods. It may have been magic. It might have been my innate, wonderful, magical abilities that I'm still yet learning to control. this sort of wild magic, it needs to be harnessed.
Was it a person or a portal?
Fuck, I don't remember. Was it a portal?
We only came out of a tower, so like
On a ship. No, I'm not there. I'm sorry.
It wasn't a portal. Like we jumped in to something.
You weren't on a ship. You went to a ship. Where'd you come through? This is me talking, not him. Where did you come through? Do you remember?
An island.
It was the volcano or
How did you get to the island?
we had dropped the dragon egg, I believe it was, or the orb into lava.
Went to the volcano, dropped the orb into the lava, but this was after exiting the tower.
When we exited the tower, was that when we crossed over, or was it after the orb exploded?
Bill doesn't remember either. He's hoping one of us.
Oh, yeah, I do.
Oh, damn it.
When we left the tower, we were on the island.
Oh, I'm just sorry. Can you just remind us?
So when you left the tower, you walked through a doorway.
Yeah. That doorway.
In a manner of speaking, is a portal.
So it was a portal. Yeah, so we came through a portal. A stairway to heaven, if you will.
He says it was a portal,
As far as I'm aware, we walked through. We
but
walked
not a
through
portal made by a god.
We didn't make the portal.
Who made the portal?
It was a lich.
Some powerful being.
With magic?
Yes, with magic.
And not a god?
Not a god.
Did you know this powerful being? He like leans forward like a child excited about it. He's like, did you know the powerful being?
Unfortunately,
did he teach you these ways?
He taught us some. Should we lie or not? Fuck. You probably
Don't lie. I'll know.
No, he did not teach us his ways.
We can't get.
Yeah.
But yet, it is promising. The promise of hope that a mortal could learn these ways and open a portal and escape.
This was no mortal.
More than a mortal. Fair enough.
Are you mortal yourself?
No. How would I have lived for thousands of years if I was mortal?
Were
We
you
don't
once
know what
mortal?
your capabilities are, frankly.
Is this your final form?
I am still curious about the gods. Perhaps they meddled. Perhaps they gave secrets to the man or mortal who made the portal. Yes. Maybe the gods of wherever you came from shared those secrets. Were they benevolent gods? Did they teach you their magic?
Somewhere.
Did they share blessings with you?
Somewhere.
Sure. I do not mean the small day-to-day blessings. I mean they share their secrets with you? The secret of creation?
No.
Not anything that elaborate. No, that was not knowledge for us.
So, as you can see, they were covetous and greedy, weren't they? Just like the gods here.
But one could say that you are covetous and greedy of the outside world as well.
Nonsense.
Well, what binds you to this cave?
How did you come to be
The
here?
gods.
And why?
Petty jealousy and greed. And pride. Pride.
I see.
They don't like being told when they've done things wrong.
Can you tell us the story of how you came to be here?
Certainly. Long ago, I pointed out that they were doing some things that were wrong, and then they banished me to this stupid rock floating in the ocean. And every once in a few centuries, some group would find this rock, and they would try to live here. And then inevitably, they would kill each other off because they were stupid and foolish and unwise. And they had cruel hearts, which is the entire point that I tried to make to the gods. I had some high hopes. I thought that when the Goot arrived, that they would perhaps succeed where others had failed. But they did not. They grew very greedy. They wouldn't share. And then time after time, until they were eventually worn down, they had war, they had bloodshed.
Okay, but how? So I'm conflicted. Here you are as an observer. You're watching. Race after race come here and fail at survival, but yet you attack the races and you say you're here to prevent people from getting access to something. So what's your mission
Yes, that
here?
is correct.
What is your mission? What is your mission here? You say you're here as punishment.
I am here as punishment. Part of my punishment is that I have to keep this place. I am a keeper.
What happens if you fail?
That is a question I have not thought of. I suppose failure is what I have achieved this whole time.
What is worse than your current punishment?
Success would be if some came here and found the harmony and lived. Then perhaps I would be freed.
Harmony in your judgment or harmony in someone else's judgment?
Harmony in the land. This is not
But
for
who-
me to judge. I merely keep.
So if we could simply go back and convince the captain and company that this is not the place to get the unobtainium, and if they want to live here, they're
Is
here.
that why they're here? Do they seek the ore?
They seek the resources.
Do they even know about the ore?
I mean,
We haven't mentioned it.
They do not. They have not delved deep enough.
Riff steps out of the spirit world into the material world. Thank God.
He says, welcome. Have a stone.
He walks up next to a stone, doesn't touch it. And he sense danger.
At this time, you sense no danger.
Tuco saying,
Actually, at this time,
At
you
this
sense
time.
a slight bit of danger emanating from Tuco.
longbow aimed at him.
Well, Tuco dropped out of the spirit realm too if I did, right? Since I was the...
Oh, yeah, valid point.
Okay.
So I go up right next to the rock when I don't sit on it right now.
Sit. Be comfortable.
I'm comfortable. I pull out my harp of calm motions and just start strumming on it. Not necessarily to use its magic, but
He
just to play.
seems awestruck. He's like, that's a gift. Do all of you have gifts? Were they given to you by the gods?
This is just a common instrument in my world. We play music. Listen.
He says, let's see you play this music. Give us your best.
The devil went down to Georgia.
Yeah, that's literally what's about to happen. Go ahead and make your willpower plus performance roll.
All right.
You are activating your maddest skills.
$18.
Do you not have inspiration that you haven't spent yet?
9.
You play an incredible performance. Like all of you are like, wow, Riff has just performed the best performance that he's ever performed. And when you finish, the being applauds and he says, I will sing a song, for I do not have an instrument. Behold. And he begins singing a song. The voicing is very strange to you. It doesn't have like a melody. It seems discordant. It seems to shift keys quite frequently. 10, 17, 19, 21. Blackjack. You have a mind shield up.
Yep.
You don't. You are not in the traditional sense of Dungeons and Dragons, afflicted with fear, where you have to run away. But you feel a little tinge of uncomfortable feeling and a little bit of fear. The whole time that he's saying, he sang in a language that you didn't understand. But there were a couple words that you did. And one of the words that he said in his song in the language you didn't understand was hoof. You heard poof frequently.
The hoof, the name of the god?
Are you a god?
No.
Or hoof?
He says, I am not a god.
Were you once mortal?
No.
Did you exist before mortals?
Yes. See how truthful I am? I do not deceive you.
What rate are you? One of a kind, or are you one of a race of individuals?
We don't have races.
Have you heard of the Lan?
Have you?
Don't you know?
What did he tell you about us?
Us.
You said you saw me talk to him.
I saw, but I could
Yeah.
not hear. Otherwise, he would know that I was watching. He probably knew I was here anyway. He could very well be the reason why I'm here.
What exactly did the gods do wrong?
They created man.
So you resent the existence of man.
Among many other things,
What is it about men that is...
they created
bones.
monsters. There are huge creatures that roam the seas, destroying people and civilizations and ships. There's war, there's famine.
It's all because of man.
So
Because of them. Why
there,
would they do such a thing? Why would they create a people only to torture them because they're cruel?
and you're jealous
prideful.
of their pride, of
And
their
they're-
power.
And they're prideful. I'm not jealous.
How
I was more than content to serve.
is there something that we can do to help you?
Yes. I was hoping that you would ask that. In that cave where I can't go, but I'd very much like to, but I can't go there. In that cave, there's a cavern and it winds around and it goes through a lot of things. And there are a lot of ancient guardians. They're very deadly and they could kill you. Very dangerous. But there are other countless treasures in that cave. Treasures of which I can't access. But you could.
I'm not seeking treasure.
But all
Humphrey is.
all the treasures that have been amassed there from centuries, from millennia of those who came here before. You seek the ore is in there. Not just the ore. They forged things and hid them in there. The giants, they hid things there too. Ancient, powerful totems that grant strength.
And you did not...
Uinized, they hid their lore on stone tablets. Their travels throughout the lands. You seek lore, don't you? All of these things exist in the caves. I cannot go there, but you could. And you are more than welcome to take whatever you can carry.
This
Should
world
you
has
defeat
taught me
all the
one
foes?
thing. There's more important things than power and things.
But
It is the
correct.
thriving and the learning that are more important.
But if you go
Why
into
do you
the
want
cave,
us to go there?
you could free your master. He's there.
The master already freed himself. He has his honor.
Why do you want? What is the benefit to you if we go in there?
No, what do you want us to get
Yeah,
out of this cave
exactly.
of treasures?
He smiles. He says, well, there is one thing that you could give me.
Shocked.
You're welcome to all the other treasures. I simply want a small bauble, a tiny thing,
A tiny trinket.
one thing that you could hold in your hand.
What,
It has
go
no
on.
value to you. It's not made of gold.
What value is it to you? And what would you do with it? And how bad am I going to regret this decision?
I'll tell you what I would do with it. And this I would even make a swear on my true name for, if you were willing to agree. I would use it to leave this place. And I would leave your settlement and all the people who would come thereafter to make this place whatever they wanted it to be. And I would no longer be the keeper. I would no longer interfere. I would leave this place. And all could be here in peace. And they could fight amongst themselves or figure it out. I would not interfere. And further, if you wished to leave, I would make a portal for you to leave. There's a waypoint. You could go to Chodar. You could go to Arakazine. You could go to Nicaea.
Would we like Nicaea?
There are many islands there. Well, I cannot see past this island, so I don't know what the state of Nicaea is now. But imagine this place, but many more islands.
What would you do with your life once you were free? Your existence once you were free?
Would you seek vengeance?
That's right.
Against who?
The gods.
I am not a god. I can't supersede a god.
And how would you leave this place? Physically.
Well, if you were to bring me the bauble, I could leave.
What is it? What does it look
It's like a key. It would open up the stones, and then I could leave.
Is that the phylactery? What would you do with your existence once you were free?
I would leave, and I would go to a place where I didn't have to be the keeper.
And would we be the new keepers? We'd be trapped here.
No. I will not trick you. I told you that I will swear on my true name if you agree to this task. But bring me the bauble.
But the lamp is mine, Aladdin.
It is not a lamp. It functions as a key, but it does not look like a key.
What does it look like?
It is perfectly round. Like a ball. An orb.
Should we do this?
It
It sounds exciting. Let's do this.
will look like this. And you see he swirls his
That's
hand
the
around,
one.
and an illusionary image shows up in his hand. And you see a black ball about the size of an 8-ball. But as you look into it, it kind of has like a swirling, smoky interior
I know.
around. Bring me this bauble. I will be free. I will make a portal that you can choose where you wish to go, or if you wish to stay and help the men here to make this place into their civilization, you may do so.
Is it something like this when I pull out my crystal ball?
That is bigger. This is smaller, and that is clear.
So what you're saying is Humphrey has big balls?
I do. Well, singular. It's one. It's one ball.
He says that is a powerful totem.
Would you have any concern if I asked this totem to verify the truthfulness?
Feel free. I have told you everything in truth.
Okay, then I will do that. And I said, if
what do you specifically ask?
Oh boy.
I'm looking at the group here because
This is like wish spell territory.
It is. So I guess if I think about this,
Does this being want the best for humanity?
no, I don't think it gives a shit about humanity. But that's fine. I don't want it to have. We don't care if it has the best intent for humanity.
It just wants to be free, guys.
Does it
Durant,
seek vengeance?
Yeah.
Durant, can you get up?
He
off
said
the
that
stone?
he didn't seek vengeance.
Durant, can you get off the stone and come back this way?
Oh, yeah.
Can you?
I guess I could. I stand up. Can I?
To walk away?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. So I'm looking at this ball. So, and I want to know. I basically want to know two things. One, are we going to be harmed? Are we going to be tricked by? Is his statement true? Yeah, that's what I should say. That's
Which part of his statement?
the whole thing.
Okay, so the whole thing. So
You need to dial
here's-
it in.
You think so?
here's your thinking about this, and this is what he says. He says,
It's basically this.
would you feel more comfortable if I created a contract? And then he uses his hand over a stone, and there's a piece of parchment that appears. And then he goes like this, like a magic trick where they pull a card out. He reaches in and he's got a quill. He says, I am more than happy to clarify this for you.
Why don't you sign it first?
I will.
I want to use my crystal ball.
I will write the contract and I will sign it first. And then you don't even have to sign it.
Oh, don't worry. We won't, but I'll have your name.
So I want to use the crystal ball, and I want to ask the question because his statement was, "Go in there. You can have whatever you want. Just bring me
You
back
can have whatever you want.
So that was the first part of his statement. The second part of his statement was that I will go off and leave everybody alone.
Bring him the bauble,
Right. Bring on the ball.
the black orb, and then he will offer you several choices. He will either just leave and you could stay here with the people. He will open a portal for you guys to go to any number of several places that he mentioned. any of those things. And he said that there would be no revenge. He will take no actions against the people who are.
That's what I want to ask the crystal ball.
People who are here.
That
What about the gods?
he said no revenge at all.
And he said he can't take revenge against the gods. He said
Yeah.
Said that, but
So that's what I'm asking the
he
crystal
said,
ball for.
I will not take revenge against the gods.
Is it was this statement that he made, which contained all of that, those facts or those points. Is that true and accurate?
The crystal ball swirls for a long time in indecision.
While this is happening, Riff turns his back and looks the other way, and in his mind, and maybe whispers, he calls out to the one, but in the name he's supposed to remember that I can't pronounce because I'm stupid. Give me wisdom.
Make a roll.
Of what,
He
religion?
said he would never talk to you again.
This is willpower plus religion.
Well, no, he said he would never see him again.
Oh, okay.
15. So close to 16. Oh, too bad.
You don't have spirit sight, do you?
Was that different from ghost
Like
sight?
ghost sight? You
I've
have
got ghost sight, yeah. But he didn't want me
when you
using that
call-
because
when you call out, do you activate that?
No,
Okay.
because I feel like he warned me about using that. I think that's more just asking him.
You say this prayer, but you're not fueling the prayer with any gua.
That didn't occur to me because I don't
It's
think
occurring right now.
Okay,
You say the prayer,
yeah.
but you're like, hello.
sure. How much quad?
Whatever it costs for you to activate ghost sight.
Okay. 1. All right.
Okay. You see a bright presence appear, not right next to where you guys are, like down the cave entrance hill, down kind of in the little.
So behind the guy down into the
Yeah,
cave?
like so where he can't see. So like
Okay.
you walked away, right?
Yeah.
And you see down the hill, back towards the foothills that you guys came from.
Okay, the way we came from.
Yes, you see like a golden light. And you see one of the beings who was behind Upai Visei Hoof. They all look the same, but he has like very fair skin and fair hair and an immaculate physical form with like a loincloth and feathered wings. And he looks up at you. And you notice like an expression of concern on his face.
Is Mind Link still active for
No,
us three?
I
no,
think so.
because he was the source of the mind link and he put up a wall.
Okay.
Okay.
So it's like, give me wisdom. Do we trust this being? Do we help
He
it?
goes like this. He beckons for you to
So-
go down.
Of course, I walk towards it.
What does the crystal ball say?
Crystal Ball says that, yes, he is telling the truth. Everything that he said was truthful.
Let's do it. I tell that to everybody. Like crystal ball says he's not lying.
So you're like, yes, we'll help you.
You notice,
No, I didn't say it to
you
him,
notice
but I
the
think we should
keeper
do it.
like notices that Riff walks away and he says, I don't think that just the three of you could get it. You will need him. You know that. It's very dangerous in those caves.
Well,
What you say may be truthful, but I think your intentions are not
can
showing everything.
we go and have
I
the night to
intend
think
to
about
leave.
this?
He says, I intend to leave. That is truthful. I'm willing to give you your choice of staying here and helping the mortals, or if you want me to transport you to one of the other places using the waypoint, I'm willing to open up a portal for you. I have said the truth in these words. The only things I have not told you is my true name, which is not necessary. You haven't told me your name, and you haven't told me the name of your god. So why do I have to tell you my name?
Where do you intend to go?
I'm leaving.
I understand that you're leaving.
No, like, you know where you came from, some other? I want to go to one other. I don't want to even be here anymore.
So
I've been stuck here for millennia.
will you allow us the evening to go back and consider your offer?
Yeah, sure. Why not? I've been here for a millennia. What's one more night?
If we negotiate with our people to keep them where they are, will you give
I
us
told
more
you that
time
I
to
didn't
consider?
steal that ship.
You did. Yep.
Yes.
That's truthful. Look into
Do you
your...
know who did?
Yes.
Will you tell us?
Will we exchange other information?
I will. We will be truthful with our information.
I'll tell you where that ship went, who took it, and who helped them take it. He tells me the true name of his god from the other place. A deal is a deal. Come on.
That is between you and Durant.
I'm sorry, but I can't do that.
Savak Boku has taught you well. He's one that I don't mind. He was smart. He knew that we were right. But he was outnumbered, so he just remained silent. And silence is complicity. Now, I'm willing to wait. You may discuss and ponder amongst yourselves. Obviously, your other friend has had enough of this conversation, but I would urge you that you'll need more than just 3 people to make it through the caves. There are terrible things. I didn't put them there. You know who did? The cruel, prideful gods. Who would do such things? Well, I will wait here.
Okay. Thank you for your open and honest communication with us.
Of course. I'm glad that you stepped forth. I wanted to issue an invitation, but I didn't know how it would be taken, given the fact that you had visits. See, oftentimes we're painted as the bad ones.
No, I mean, raising the dead and sending them to slaughter us doesn't help your story.
Well, but it did get your attention.
Fair enough.
And they didn't kill everyone, did they?
No, just one. But that one person was alive.
If you want, I can make it up for you.
How?
Well, I can bring that one back. Maybe you could have them do some lifting, carrying things. They're very obedient.
Well, I understand, but I thank you for the offer, but I think we'll pass.
Very well.
Okay. So
I will wait here.
and we still have fly that we can.
Riff is still trying to go talk with the
Smash cut back to the little valley. You're in the cabin.
Yeah.
And the Kai steps forward to you and he says, "Why have you come to this place?"
We are trying to figure out the evil behind all the attacks on the men and the
He
stolen.
points up the hill.
Yes, I kind of tend to agree, but this thing talks very slyly and is very close to talking my friends into helping it get something that will help it escape its apparent prison. It told us as much. It's trapped here.
It is here for a reason.
I'd like to know if it's a good choice for us to help it escape, or if that would be a bad choice. I'm hoping for wisdom from Hupai on this. I know.
He says, "We serve. The Kai serve. We stayed true to them during the wars."
You stayed true to
The
gods.
during the wars. I understand my brothers. I understand my sisters. They feel an emptiness because the gates to Eos were closed to them.
So it would be a bad idea to help this brother or sister of yours.
Even if you freed him, he cannot return to Eos. Only the gods can allow that.
But he can cause harm to other worlds or islands.
Of course.
Promised you would.
But if he stays here, he will continue to cause harm to those on this island.
Yes.
We need wisdom. Will you not grant us wisdom what to do?
We serve.
He's offered to sign a spiritual contract that guarantees he will not cause harm once he leaves.
Are you there?
No, I'm not. I'm just grumpy.
Will Hupai be unhappy with us, with me, if we free this?
This is a small thing. Upai told you what you have. What did he tell you?
We have choices.
Yes.
But we also are for not harming the innocent.
There are two truths. The gods are good.
The gods what?
The gods are cruel.
Depends on the god, right?
Yes and no.
The gods are good and
Some
cruel.
of the most good and loving gods have been cruel sometimes. And some of the cruelest gods have been fair and just. We serve. We don't question. They question constantly. If he is free, he will go. He may do things. He may not do things.
So what do you care?
Is his name important? If we knew his name without letting him go, would that give us some kind of power over him? I know that's a dangerous question.
It can. Knowing the true name of anything could be powerful. But you also must know how to use the true name. You have been given discernment. You were told the true name. Upai, Visei, Oof. Many have forgotten his true name. Do you know that?
Yes.
Throughout the lands, many have forgotten his true name.
Mm-hmm.
You know it now.
I do. I'm just not.
Your brother was given discernment to know of Savak Boku.
Are Upai and Sovakuku allies?
As you would understand it, yes. Yes. Yes.
But this guy back here that we don't know its name would not be considered an ally, as we understand it.
He's not a god.
They once served.
But they went again.
I, the Kapu, and the land once served. The land fell. They questioned. They whispered things that were not true to the gods. They planted poisonous things in the minds of the gods.
I am not wise, but it seems unwise to me to assist Allan.
It is, and it isn't.
Sounds like it could give us great power or great boon in some way to help us in what we deem would be helpful. But we don't really know
What
where
do
that
you see?
We seek to help those in harm's way, but we also seek to strengthen ourselves if we have ways of finding.
Do we want to get back? Sorry, and I mean that from a not a 5e A&A concept, but do we want to get back to the land where we came from?
That is an excellent question.
Like, we never actually discussed that.
That will be discussed amongst you. He looks at you and he says,
I don't remember my thought.
You know the choices.
Sorry, I didn't mean to.
That's okay.
He gave you choices.
Yes,
The gods give you choices.
we have choices. I think that's come through loud and clear. We have choices. I guess I was just hoping for wisdom in making, if there is such a thing, the best.
You desire to help
choices.
people?
Yes.
Do you not desire treasure?
And in honesty, I would desire treasure if I could use it in a way that would help people or keep others from harm.
Do you desire power? Power over others? Do you wish to be a leader of men?
If I can use that in a way that would honor
others?
Yes, in a way that would honor.
Do you desire to explore and see things and learn secrets and learn about the world and see other places?
Yes, I cannot deny that.
Can he grant you that?
Yes.
He would say so, I believe.
Choices.
I think loud and clear I'm hearing choices, and my brother also.
The one true God told you, do not forget. Flap, flap, flies away. You guys are standing up to leave, having asked for permission to leave. And you notice like the physical form of the keeper who's like looking at you, and he's like, yes, tomorrow, come in 2 days. He's like, I'll be here for all eternity. There's really no hurry. And then you notice like his eyes whip over and he goes, what? Where is your friend?
I don't know.
He's around here somewhere.
Curious.
I mean, Riff, after the scene that he slowly walks back up after the Kai just departs.
As you kind of come up, you see your friends have stood up from the sitting stones, and you see the keeper look at you, and he's like, really? You call upon them and they come to you?
Choices.
Yes, choices.
He does not seem amused by that, but he says, choices indeed. So be it. I will wait here.
We will return.
We'll see.
We say our goodbyes and
And you leave.
we hug it out and we just yeah.
Before, like, Riff didn't hear some of that, so it's like, did you guys ask it to call off any attacks or anything? Did you come to some sort of parlay or anything? Did it admit to being behind attacks?
I look back to one more thing. While we discuss,
Yes.
will you agree for no more to not instigate any more attacks until we come back to you next?
I will agree to a truce. But that truce will have a time.
Noted.
If more than 3 nights pass, I will rain certain doom upon the rest of that settlement. You saw how many barrows there are. The Rogaru sleep peacefully right now. I will waken them and I will make them angry. Fair?
Fair.
Excellent. See you in less than 3 nights.
And we fly.
We fly back. On the way we're flying back, I guess we're discussing it amongst ourselves. And one of the things I bring up to the group is I'm confused. At the start of this, he said that we could live. He would agree for us to stay on our side of the island, if you will, and he would guarantee our peace if we didn't go any further. But now he's saying that even if we don't go further, in 3 nights, he's going to rain terror out upon us. Like, what am I missing here?
Sounds like we're kind of in a quandary.
Yeah.
If I'm using that word right.
I don't know things about the gods and stuff, but what I have learned from you all is that we are here to serve. We're not here for power or glory, we're here to serve. I believe that. That is honor.
Tuco, you have served me loyally.
Yes.
Right? And I think that we should go and go inside that cave. The crystal ball said this person's intent should have no negative impact on anybody. Well, the crystal ball said the thing wouldn't seek vengeance and that we'd be safe.
He offers the easy way. I want the hard way.
Why?
Because it is the right way.
But Tuco,
And if you go,
oh, damn it.
I will oppose you.
Tuco, if we have been growing in power, it sounds like we may gain more power potentially going this game. If we can keep growing in power and keep protecting.
Imagine the good you
We are
create.
learning the power ourselves. It's not being handed to us.
Isn't power that which corrupts?
I'm not
Is it not
seeking power.
Seeking power.
I'm not seeking power. I'm seeking to make enough money so I can get out of here and stop all this adventuring nonsense.
Why do you need to continue to adventure? You could simply go and settle in the camp with everybody else.
There's a degree of comfort that I would like in my retirement.
When we first met, Master, you said You wanted to serve the children with your humble magic. What has happened with that? Why has your magic become the more important thing and the power?
I can serve many children. This is starting to sound bad. So many children. All I want is to retire and to retire in a degree of comfort. I don't need to be the richest person ever in existence. I want a degree of comfort in my retirement so I can just focus on the things that I'm interested in, which is making kids happy with simple party tricks.
What if this is the origin story for Santa Claus?
I know. I said I'm moving to the North Pole.
Yeah, he's like, I'm just done with all of you guys.
Grabbing a bunch of elves and they're coming with me.
How will you know when it's enough power and enough treasure?
What is enough? What is that definition?
And what are we unleashing? What are we unleashing on the worlds if we?
Well, you have evidence that
just moment of clarity. You guys have like walked away, right?
No,
you're not like
we're flying.
right. So cool. So you're flying away. You're not like having this conversation in front of him.
no.
No, and I figure he probably knows what we're saying.
Yeah, he's probably got like
It doesn't matter.
this is Hunger Games where he's got
Hopefully
microphones
not, but-
everywhere. And
You proceed. You fly back. You obviously land at some point before you get to the camp, right? To not ruffle
Sure.
any feathers. And it's, I mean, frankly, it hasn't been that long, right? It's like maybe noon.
oh shit! Okay.
Because you kind of flew out there, you had like this conversation, and then you flew back.
Okay.
I mean,
We have much to discuss among our groups.
I think I've been in communication with a very powerful, if not the most powerful, spirit, and it's not saying yes or no. It's saying we must choose.
And is it offering you anything for which way you choose?
No, just to live with our choice.
But what is he offering us?
I agree with Tuco.
Riches and power and choice, more choices. Where do we want to take a portal to? Chodar or Nicaea or somewhere else?
What if?
But there are
Tuco,
promises.
Where do we stop?
What if I said that after taking a reasonable cut of the whatever riches we find, I'm happy releasing the rest to be for charitable causes? Would that change your mind at all?
No, money doesn't do
Money
anything.
buys food for many children who are starving.
The work, the muscle. I would plant food for the children more than I would just give them something easily.
So you would let children starve rather than... I get it. Okay. Nice to see your true color.
Do we incur wrath of some god or other being by freeing this thing?
I don't
Is that
think so.
something we can face?
What do we do? I mean, what happens if we don't attempt to free this thing? Have we thought of that? Do we have any other options than getting killed or being attacked every night?
I mean, the alternative here is that we go into the caves, we become more powerful.
And use that to...
We find the thing and then we go
Destroy it.
to him and offer it to him.
Or we find a way ourselves to use that thing to leave here
I doubt.
in the caves.
Yeah,
That's true. At the present, we have no real way of leaving other than possibly flying and maybe getting to another island before our flights run out.
yeah.
But then we'd be leaving Edwards and his crew to their demise.
Correct.
We
Which has
have
now got a countdown timer.
The alternative would be that we would need to, come back out more powerful and potentially
Kick some ass.
fight
I
along.
think we're going to the cave, gentlemen. Just be thinking of what may come after we go into the caves. And
Well, we can't do it
another
without
option.
Tuco. We can't do it
We
without
have another
Tuco.
option. And I point to my boots. Maybe we go back to, where was it?
I thought he was going to pull out cyanide. We have another option.
O'Shale, and tell them Captain Edwards is missing. Or not missing. The ships have been, and that to
Wait,
send,
where do your boots take us again?
I don't know.
But how long?
As Tuco says this, the rest of you, should make a perception plus magic roll.
Oh, God damn it, Bill. Okay.
I don't know, but I could investigate more. I haven't investigated these boots because I haven't had a reason to yet.
Okay.
15?
Yeah, 15.
19.
Mm.
17.
Okay. So all three of you cleared the target, and then some.
What target?
The difficulty was.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
So you
Surface to air missiles were flying.
understand, your characters understand that Tuco's boots have some kind of ability to transport from one place to another. What you're not sure about is whether that can happen to go to a place that you've never been to before.
Okay.
And you have not been to O'Shale, so you're not sure if that's possible.
You're not sure if
No
it does
place
take
like
Tuco.
O'Shale. There's no place like O'Shale.
Well, the other thing would be, how long would it take to mobilize a fleet from O'Shale to here?
Yeah, fair.
I mean, we're on a timer here.
71 hours left before destruction is rained down on.
So it's really the three. We have 3 votes to go in there at least. 1 against.
What are we going to do when we get in there?
Kick some ass.
It sounds like there's some nasties in there and there's some treasure in there. It's just like old times.
It's not about the power. It's about doing what's right. Well, it's about one, survival for us, and then the added bonus of doing what's right to keep everybody else alive, and trying to minimize the amount of harm that we're causing.
I'm for more knowledge because we are still lacking that, I think.
Well, what sort of knowledge do you need to get to your decision?
What is this orb? Can it be destroyed? What else is in there?
Highly valid question.
Are there more answers? Do we know anything more about this land who all these gods that you have talked about seem to oppose?
I should have done something. I should have put Mind Link back as we were doing this because I don't want eavesdropping.
So I'm not going to say that you're in a camp. You guys landed and you're kind of maybe
Walking towards
maybe a couple hundred yards
Yeah, but
away
he
from the
sees
camp.
everything apparently, so I'm worried that he's hearing us discuss this.
He's more concerned about our choices than
Everybody's concerned about choices.
we're talking about our choices. We haven't made them yet.
Okay, so
You have choices. You do have another choice that you'll need to consider, and that choice is whether or not to share with anyone at the camp
no,
what you have come to learn,
absolutely,
or the potential threat that they could be facing.
absolutely not.
No.
Not unless our answer is no, and these guys need to be prepared for, death in a couple days.
Well, as you contemplate this, with many questions, few answers, and many choices ahead of you,
Don't do it, Bill.
we will conclude the Dads. Thank you for watching, for joining us for this epic gaming retreat weekend that we have enjoyed so much being in person. I want to thank all my patrons. I want to thank all the subscribers. Thank you guys for tuning in and for liking and subscribing and supporting. We will see you on the next episode of the Dads. Peace out. Bye.
Thanks.
Well, hello, and welcome to Bill Allan World. I am Wizzy, the Wizard. I'm back once again to remind you to subscribe and click on the notifications button, and also watch videos that are over there. Tune in to the next episode of whatever show you were just watching, and watch other shows featuring Bill. He made me say that, because he's a narcissist. Okay, bye.